Zimbabwe? Zimbabwe is a mess. There's no doubt about it. Zimbabwe is the opposite of Botswana. Will it get any better? No. Here is the thing. You see, ZANU-PF has criminalized Zimbabwean society. It has perverted it. Crime, corruption, chaos is now culture in Zimbabwe. And once something becomes culture, it is very difficult to change it. You need decades of progressive authoritarianism. I don't know if you are going to get that. The second thing about why you can't change that Zimbabwe thing is the involvement and the enmeshment of the military in politics. You see, ZANU-PF and the military are the same thing. That's why even Mnangagwa could never have been president of Zimbabwe without a deal with the military.
Why should we give President Mnangagwa, who is over 80, with another term? He has been a minister since 1980, and he has been president first, completing the tenure of President Mugabe, and the 2 terms that he has been given. He needs to be a very ungrateful man to seek anything beyond that. Third, there is nothing special that we have received from his presidency at all. Zimbabweans continue wallowing in poverty, although they say that there is economic development in Zimbabwe. Average Zimbabweans have become poorer.
Right, why would an 84-year-old man decide the fate of so many Zimbabweans in the country? That's a very good question that Monzora is asking. I also have a problem with recycle the same old individuals in the government. This may have been the reason why Mnangagwa was able to create these toxic structures that are hurting the country today. Do not allow anyone to serve in the government for more than 10 years. Do not. Doesn't matter how good they are, because there are so many experienced people in the country that you should be giving an opportunity. I also know that Chiwenga can never trust Emerson. Remember, Chiwenga has been working with Emerson for a long time. I can never forget a meeting that Mutambara confirmed in one of his interviews with Trevor Gabe. He was blocked. He could to force himself to actually have that meeting because Mnangagwa was at the door. Didn't want him to have a conversation with the president. Does that surprise you? We still have the same culture today. You can't see Emerson Mnangagwa. He's like a demigod. It is actually very sad. But anyway, what I want you to know is that citizens are also demanding that Chiwenga takes action because he's the one who anointed Emerson Mnangagwa. Mugabe preferred Chiwenga, said you cannot. He knew who Mnangagwa was, but we didn't know him because they've spent their time switching information off. How on earth would Zimbabwe be aware or be informed of the happenings in the country? I do not think if I had an idea who Mnangagwa was in 2017, I could have danced the dance that I danced. I feel bad about this. Anyway, Apostle Innocent Maruza is sending a message to Mini Otavo Baloy that, dear Mini Baloy Chiwenga, please tell General Chiwenga to act now. We are tired of Mnangagwa. I know he listened to you. I also heard some people say, do not give Mnangagwa a chance. This time around, we move and we move very fast. This is what people are literally discussing on social media. I want also to know that Chiwenga hits back at Ziyambi and Jonathan Moyo. So we're going to look at that a little bit later. And it's important for you to know that he's also very clear on where he stands as far as the issue of this amendment bill is concerned. You see, one thing about Chiwenga as a soldier, I think you guys remember when people ask a question and say to Geza, why did you take so long? He said, we are military guys, well trained. We don't just act. We have to take our time, watch to see where the whole wind is blowing towards. And then when we see that no, enough is just enough, we take action. So I do understand when he's acting like he's quiet, but he's communicating. Again, he hits back at a funeral that recently happened. That is for Mrs. Kankai that went to be with the Lord. I think people are just going home. as a comment, sent out the information. I also saw Herald as well reporting the same issue, that the Vice President Chiwenga has reaffirmed the liberation struggle's core objectives, emphasizing reclaiming land and achieving self-determination. Speaking at Comrade Miriam Kanga's funeral wake, Chiwenga urged the youth to recognize liberation heroes' sacrifices, ensuring every voice counts and land is returned to rightful owners. Mukanya's statement aligns with ZANU-PF's 1963 policy declaration, emphasizing one man, one vote. This contrasts with Minister Ziyambi's claim that the liberation wasn't fought for one man, one vote. Chiwenga's involvement in the struggle lends credibility to his assertion. Ziyambi, who lost ZANU-PF primary elections twice, may be pushing the bill to maintain power. Zimbabweans are rejecting the bill, citing concerns it undermines democratic principles, many believing Ziyambi pushing for personal gain, contradicting liberation values. The bill's controversy highlights tensions between the government's push for changes and citizen demands for transparency. Chiwenga's words have sparked interest in the understanding the struggle's core values. I mean, we all know that our parents fought for one man, one vote, fought for the land. But even with the land, it's chaotic in the country today. You have to be worshipping demigods within the political structure in order for you to have access to land or access to anything in the country. I don't subscribe to those notions. As much as I know that Mnangagwa is pursuing a kingdom, but on a serious note, Zimbabwe is being run like a kingdom. You worship one man for you to actually eat. People move around wearing his face everywhere. It's that he can feel good about himself. We are worshipping a human being. I'm not going to form part of that group. I'm very different. I believe that a president is a servant. And if he does not understand his position, then we're left with no choice except to at least tell him to leave. It is as simple as that. It's actually embarrassing. You can hear how South Africans are making it clear that Zimbabwe is a criminal state. Zimbabwe has been perverted by few individuals. When you say ZANU-PF is a party, it was such an incredible party when it started, until criminals wiggled their way in the party and it began to pollute it little by little by little. And today, the whole country is infested with jealousy, selfishness, toxicity, greedy, criminality, corruption, you name it. I can never finish the kind of ills Zimbabwe are facing. Even driving. People can't even drive normally. It's chaotic. And that's why it requires someone who is very much serious to put order and say enough. And I've always been saying, if Chiwenga gets in the office, he doesn't need to come with the help of ZANU-PF. You must lead as a military guy. You must lead like any person. I think even whoever comes in, and I've said the same thing last time when I spoke about Chamisa and say, hold on, don't come in under the banner of whatever party. If you come in as a Zimbabwean leader. Come as a Zimbabwean leader and stay away from all these party things. This is the reason why Zimbabwe is hurting. We cannot continue on these partisan lines. Something has to give.
The second thing about why you can't change that Zimbabwe thing is the involvement and the enmeshment of the military in politics. You see, ZANU-PF and the military are the same thing. That's why even Mnangagwa could never have been president of Zimbabwe without a deal with the military. Right? So the head of the military, Chiwenga, had to engineer a coup to remove Mugabe. And they had a deal that you come in, I'm going to be your deputy. That's how it works. So when you have a military that is at the center of a country's politics, let me tell you, you can't change anything because they will simply blow up your head. And what are you going to do? If you make noise in Zim, they simply blow up your head. That's it. That's the end of it. So Zimbabwe is a hopeless case. That's why the cream of Zimbabwe, the intellectual cream of Zimbabwe is out of that country. It's in South Africa, it's in the UK, some of them are in the US. And let me tell you, they will never go back.
Mr. Hopewell Shinono, my brother. Yo.
He's the only one who is making noise from there. He's the only one, and I follow him. He's the only one who's making noise from there.
I follow him too.
Yeah, it's and the stuff that he writes about, it's just out of this world.
So for the next couple of decades, we must just keep on expecting lots and lots of our Zimbabwean brothers and sisters flocking into South Africa.
Right, I know some of you it's your first time to pass through this channel. You're welcome. Please do not forget to subscribe and turn on the notification button. To my regulars, shout out. Thank you once again for passing through. Please share the video with others in your groups and stick around as we get to discuss of what's going on in the country. Sometimes I wonder if Chiwenga is actually the president of Zimbabwe, because the way Themba Mliswa and some of the few guys are attacking him, it's shocking.
There's not going to be peace. Then bring more police force to monitor, or else let it happen. And if anything happens, then you give that an example that we can no longer have these sessions.
Such sessions.
Yes. But that is not from the president.
It then defeats the whole logic of allowing people to do all these discussions.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So, but we're running out of time.
Okay.
Sorry, Sabuko. I just want to find out something from you. You have been saying a lot of stuff about the vice president. What is the beef that you have with him?
There's no beef. I've never insulted the vice president. The vice president, his conduct is unbecoming of a statesman, because at that level you must be able to engage with your principal and not think
you believe it's not happening.
It is not, because you can see that he has gone against the tide. If you belong to a party or an organization and a decision is made by the majority, you are forced to support it. You can't keep on fighting it. He has become ZANU-PF's #1 opposition.
Is he opposing the amendment?
There's what you call collective responsibility. Are you with me? And he wants to be macho. He wants to be Rocky. Are you with me? He wants to be Hulk Hogan. But politics does not need a Hulk Hogan. There is never a president in this country from Joshua Nkomo, who my father belonged to the party, was up and so forth, whoever disrespected Mugabe. Their conversations as elders. In the room, there was one voice that was Musika. It was the same Bruno, the nickname Bruno. All these people, John Nkomo, Maimujuru, Idi Mnangagwa, they never confronted the president the way that the vice president is doing it. And what? He can be president one day. Okay, would he like his subordinate to respond to him the way he does in cabinet? He wants to do it. These headlines don't make him a leader of tomorrow. 2, he does not respect the rights. And let me speak to you on this, which is emotional. I'm sad about the women in Zimbabwe, because you failed to stand by one of your own. Whether Mary is a murderer or not, the children don't know that. They know her as a mother. It is denied. The children have access to their mother. We can't have a president like that. We can't have, this is emotional for me. I am a father with the many children that you know. I give them access to their mother because you co-parent. He denied, through him using his power to deny Mary to go and get treated outside. But he goes to China until she's amputated. Zimbabweans today, let's be honest, if you think that I'm going to support such a leader, no, let me face what I'm going to face. With me, we want leaders who respect the rights of people, especially children, especially medical care. Today he's not attending courts because he's a vice president, because he's a former general. So what example are you giving to the people? We must start scrutinizing our leaders now, not tomorrow. If we feel that this leader is corrupt, we must. He threw stones in a glass house, yet is in the glass house. Can he account for his wealth? Can he account for his wealth? I calculated how much an army commander gets a CDF. Not with all those cars he has, not with all these monies that they have. I was chairman of the mines an energy committee where we did the $15 billion inquiry on diamonds.
Okay.
The army was given that. There's empirical evidence.
Was he alone?
Whether he was commander, defense forces, which means there is somebody. When the army does well, that's why even in Restore Legacy, I gave him credit, but he was not there because he's the commander. When you do well as a writer, it is the editor who is given the credit and not the writer. So in one of the interviews saying he's a great general, it was because Restore Legacy was peaceful, the Gotin law and order was maintained. But the people around him are not advising him the truth. God will not allow somebody who denies innocent children the right to see their mothers.
We have seen him embarking on what we call anti-graft messaging on various platforms whenever I got a chance to speak. You also share some reservations with him pushing that message.
I have people in Zimbabwe like to take sides for the sake of taking sides. Are you with me? But I am factual. I have asked for him to account. When I say to you, you got so much money from X, which was not proper, you got these cars from X, which was not proper, the onus is for you as a leader. I was accused of infecting HIV to a young kid, and I decided to say, let's go and test publicly. And I went and tested. We want leaders right now who are prepared. Don't keep quiet, because that's not politics. I respond to issues which are proper because I'm a public figure. And when you're a public figure and you're saying, that's the reason why for me.
Sabuko, Atisnangua, what kind of a president are you expecting to see post-President Mnangagwa after 2030?
Yeah, a generational consensus must come in. The war veterans, the liberators of the country, my father was one of them, have done well. There's a time to stop, and it's only through President Mnangagwa that he can mentor and guide young leaders through. It's time, and they cannot stop it. It's time. They failed to even take care of their own war veterans. I have supported the war veterans.
ZANU-PF, who failed to take care of the war veterans?
The general. He was at war with these guys. Their wealth. They were arrested for that court order they got from the Ministry of Finance to be paid their allowances. I paid for their bail. They know the truth. But their own commanders. But today you see them with him again. The anger is too much. They must serve the war veterans who they were with.
Saka president wamontarisira kuzoona and akaita sei wamunoda imimi. Anenge akaita sei what are the
who will stick to the founding principles of the struggle? Economic emancipation, one man, one vote, ensuring that the resources of the people of Zimbabwe are given to the people of Zimbabwe, like Nigeria. Whether we fail or not, let's fail on our own. Are you with me? At the same time, governance, there must not be corruption. Are you with me? Which no one talks about, okay? Because they are scared. The problem is that people say to me, but Mliswa, you say all these things, are you not scared? I am not. Because for me, I'm protected by God and my ancestors. So ndinotore maundiri panapa. And I have no bodyguard. I've never had a bodyguard in my life. What for? Because I believe in the truth. And I believe that the truth will help the country. What I'm saying right now will give somebody, will motivate and inspire somebody. So we must not be scared. What I must not do is insult the vice president. I still demand the vice president to account for his wealth. Is that wrong? Is that wrong?
So anyone who disagrees with Mnangagwa has become the enemy of the state. I do not understand the kind of leadership Emmerson Mnangagwa is offering as a president, that people cannot confront him. Also not that people have tried to communicate with Mnangagwa behind doors, privately, but he seems not to care. That's one of the reasons you are now seeing some of these conversations spilling off the streets. There are reasons why. I do not think that Chiwenga is actually a disrespectful person, because I don't know for the life of me how he's serving Mnangagwa, considering his experiences. Considering his experiences and the betrayal. I don't know how he does it. That kind of grace, I need it. If I could save my enemy, oh my God. I need that kind of grace. Right? And the gaslighting. instead of taking accountability and actually confronting Mnangagwa, who is the commander-in-chief and the president of the country that is languishing in poverty, sitting at 95% unemployment. Our people, more than 40% people are living in abject poverty. And someone wants to come in and confront and be attacking Chiwenga. It's actually sad, but we know the goal is to try to silence him. And I want you to know that we're going to be talking in the evening about Minnie, whom they're accusing that she's orchestrating a coup. Again, they're trying to strip him of everything. But it's not going to work because it's not only about Chiwenga, it's about Zimbabwe as a country. Zimbabweans do not want Emmerson Mnangagwa in the office. Here's the challenge. Majority of those that surround Emmerson, they know that there's money to earn. So they're just taking money from Mnangagwa, but they're not being honest with him. And so say, things aren't looking great. Because I always say, guys, as much as we would want to argue and call Mnangagwa is failed and so forth, but he's surrounded by some individuals, which includes prominent guys. I mean, we spoke about Tawanda Nyambirai, who seems to be having a relationship with him. They are not able to sit down around the table and say, yo, things have gone wrong in this country. We can fix it. But instead, they are taking money. People are just taking money. Many people are just collecting money. That is the problem that we're having in our country. And I think because Chiwenga, akaramba kuitiswa, he refused to be used. That's where they started accusing him that no, you received gifts from Wiki Chivayo. I don't know when did the receiving gifts become a problem. How can I be a bad person by receiving a gift? I don't get it, guys. Do you understand? You come and bless me at my wedding. I don't care. I can't question you. And then all of a sudden, I'm a bad person. You see, they were trying to pollute him, but he refused to be used. I'm really expecting Themba Mliswa to deal with the issue that is at hand. The failure of Mnangagwa. Money is being played with. Giving out cars never ends. We're going to talk about job praises when weakness versus a relationship that is trending. Very questionable relationship. We'll talk about later on as well. But the issue of talking about Mary, always, I told you that if you listen to what Comrade Geza said, may his soul rest in peace. I'm forever going to celebrate that man. I can tell you, I will celebrate that man. He was a good man. He made it very clear to you that Chiwenga is paying the bills of Mary. How can it be someone who's paying the bills of his ex-wife? Show me how many men who are paying bills for their ex-wife. Let's be honest. Not only that he's been accused of trying to kill him, but he's still paying the bills. That kind of grace, I need it, y'all. I need it. Wow. I need it. I think it reminds me of a scripture in the Bible that when your enemy is hungry, give them something to eat. When they are thirsty, give them something to drink. But that's how you can do away with evil, little by little, changing lives. And the lie that Mary is not having access to his children is a lie. I mean, we spoke about it. Mary is having access to your kids, which even took very beautiful pictures. They may have some hiccups before. I'm sure they're working on it. But now, as far as I know, they actually have a very good relationship. So that is a lie that Themba Mliswa is peddling. Anyway, Jonathan Moyo and Ziyambi are having a difficult time. Whatever they're trying to do, every move they make, they're being caught in their tracks. This is quite very serious because Ziyambi cancelled one of the most important meetings in Geneva. And reports are saying that Minister Ziyambi Legal and Parliamentary Affairs he's officially cancelled his plans to lead the Zimbabwean delegation to the 61st session of the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva, which commences on the 23rd of February 2026. In a significant shift of priorities, the minister is instead traveling to Kenya for an urgent consultation with their chief strategist, the exiled fugitive Professor Jonathan Moyo, on number one, how to rescue his poorly planned bill, which is massively failing to gain traction due to significant resistance from the Zimbabwean people, and number two, on how to rescue their blowing up strategy of successfully completing their state capture of the Zimbabwe military after they successfully imposed General Fumane as commander of the Zimbabwe National Army. General Fumane's task has been left in tatters after the recent expose of the top 15 generals having accepted cash bribes of 200,000 and a Land Cruiser each, wow, which were handed to them on Wednesday, 18th of February 2026 at State House by Emmerson Mnangagwa, while at the same time on the 17th of February 2026, salary ran for the rest of military totaling an estimated 40,985 got paid a monthly salary of averaging $300 for the month, and some of them after unlawful deductions had negative balances on their salaries. This is continuing to be a developing situation as the ground from the junior ranks is swelling at this grand corruption and abuse and worsening conditions of service. While Ziyambi had previously succeeded in clandestinely smuggling Professor Moyo into Zimbabwe for high-level consultations, Moyo has recently refused to travel from his base in Kenya, citing his fears of the military intervention. This refusal has forced Ziyambi to abandon the International Human Rights Forum at the last minute to meet Moyo on Kenyan soil. Jonathan Moyo is now under pressure to come up with appropriate advice and propaganda on how ED and his goons can rescue this collapsing desk of cards on the EU-conceived amendment and the boomerang state capture attempting of the Zimbabwe military, whose junior ranks have seen through the madness and grand corruption underway in broad daylight. Wow. This is quite very sad. In as much as Professor Jonathan Moyo, together with Advocate Thembinkosi Gwabaliva, are the chief architects of Amendment Bill number 3, he remains resentful towards ED over the death of his father during Gukrahunte, which Mnangagwa led. He also harbors bitterness regarding the Cholocho Declaration, where he felt Mnangagwa abandoned him and he never recovered. Furthermore, Moyo is reportedly on a milestone best payroll. He has been paid for the gazetting of the amendment bill, while advocating Maliva cries for not getting his full payment from Ziyambi and team. His next payment contingent on the bill's passage will facilitate his return from self-imposed exile to being the Minister of Foreign Affairs. This is a developing situation and our eyes and ears are on it. Meanwhile, below is Commander Weather report response to his junior officers while he's busy enjoying the 200k, the comfort of his Land Cruiser from week now. Take a listen to actually Tap Money.
Mende iruda kukwidza pay yemasoja mari mwezi anaya chaiwo tanga tina commander in chief president Mnangagwa vakati ndingadai ndaanaunza nhasi kuti ndiri kukwidza mapay yemasoja but ndatirega titange tatarisa maybe pakati pamacha tichakwidza pay. Saka ndiri kupai weather report, the outlook is good. Musafurirwe nezvinhu zvisina nebasa rezimutitandara nenyaya dzamusina kuswera kumautotiri right, zvinhu zvedu zviri kufamba ende ini ndakazvipira kuti zvichatofamba ndiri commander weZimbabwe National Army.
Don't forget, a few days ago we spoke about the $75 that were deducted from the military junior personnel after they were given as a bonus last year because of Comrade Geza call for protest. I've always say Mnangagwa plays his games in front of you, in your faces, tukutambwa day in, day out. And it's up to us Zimbabweans. Are we willing to keep on collecting quick bucks at the expense of the country? Because guys, if the generals in the military, as per the allegations, some of them are collecting cash and cars from criminals, when are we going to talk about how exposed we are as a country? And if that country can blow up because the love of money that has taken over Zimbabwe is dangerous. And I'm talking about the love of money by all means. It is scary, y'all. It is very scary. But I must say this, even within the military, the generals and also the police, there are some honest people, because actually so police officers are rejecting the amendment bill. Some of them, and they were transferred for simply saying, no, we disagree with this bill thing. I mean, who doesn't see that Mnangagwa has failed? Who doesn't see that we are being played day in, day out and the country is going downhill? Zimbabwe is in the pits because of stupid games. The whole country has been polluted and perverted by few individuals. And all they do is just relying on the underworld gangs. And so many people have been deployed in different countries who can do their dirty work. But let me say this to you. You're not just doing a dirty work. You are messing up your own life. One day you realize that you have been sold out. And there will be a price to pay. Because for many criminals, they will be heading to jail. It's just a matter of time. And the time is just also a matter of when. Because it is going to happen. I said, this was the most painful question. That one Zimbabwean guy's name is Mr. H. Amanga Chiwai. He said, good day to Jonathan Moyo. I don't know how to say this. Why are you always against the wishes of Zimbabweans? Anything Shineku Rwadzisa Zvivarwa Zimbabwe, your name is there. Did Zimbabweans kill your daddy? Did Zimbabweans kill your daughter? As why, Professor, the pain Yamunoi Sasoka is too much. Let us not take lives because people are very upset. Prince Duweko, he also says Ziyambi and Jonathan are committing treason. They must be apprehended upon sight and be prosecuted. Which many people agree. They were refusing. That they did not even meet. They did because the plane tickets for Ziyambi were actually leaked. I must also put this on record because the girl that you heard, I saw someone talking about her. Her name is Lynn. And they're calling her CIO. She's not a CIO. She's a professional qualified girl doing her own work in the UK. Just because she's exposing a lot of information. And once you do that, you're becoming the enemy and they'll find ways to taint your name. You know what they've been doing with me. Oh, they're doing the most. I've heard some people that even shock me. Maybe you hear about it. People accuse me of things I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. You know, and I'm laughing. I'm like, hold on. You're dealing with a grown person, not a child. I'm turning 43, like in 2 days. So you're not talking to a kid, you're talking to a grown woman. I may look young, but man, I've lived, right? So they are being exposed left, right, and center. They have nowhere to hide. And Chiwenga is not playing games, you mean business. Anyway, like I said to you, we're going to be talking about a minute later whom they're accusing of orchestrating a coup. You guys tell me what you think in the comment section because I would really love to hear your thoughts. I love you guys. Bless you and bless Zimbabwe. Bye for now.